Alright, so we are at the Chester Frost County Park, Hamilton County, Tennessee. It's a beautiful, beautiful spring day, and it is officially spring because spring started last week. We always like to, I'm going to call it a shakedown run. Like to take a shakedown run early in the year. That way, if we go on any big camping trips later, we've been able to fix anything that we've noticed that's broke or out of order on the shakedown trip. And I'm going to say that we are under attack. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Evidently, over the winter, some ladybugs must have found their way into our camper and they're hibernating in there. We cleaned them. What we thought we had them all cleaned out before we left, and we found some more when we got here. We cleaned up some more. We brought a vacuum with us. They're just coming out of the woodwork. I mean, it's not like they're crawling all over us when we're sleeping, but if you go a couple hours and then look at one of the skylights, you'll see a dozen of them on a skylight. So they're hidden behind some trim or something, and these little son of a guns, they're getting in our crap. So we're going to keep vacuuming, try to get these little scuzz buckets cleaned up, and then get home. I'm going to spray it with some bug spray inside real good before the before we take it out on a big trip. So yeah, I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to go here. Just go out this way. But yeah, it's been a good trip so far. We didn't find a whole lot that was broke down, just a couple little minor things to address. But the ladybugs, oh my goodness. So anyway, we'll have to address that. So get back home and we'll get back to working on the Teardrop. So we were just on our way back in the park from running out to eat lunch, and the first camper and the first site we saw when we came back was a looks like a home-built Teardrop camper. Really nice looking little camper. I'm going to try to run over there and meet those folks and see if they'll give me a tour of it and find out a little bit more about it. So this is the Teardrop that I mentioned in my camper a while ago. This is Carl and Lisa from around the Chattanooga area, and this is a camper that he built himself. He's a little camera shy, so he's behind me right now. How long did it take you to build it? About 3 or 4 months. You're a lot faster than I am. Good grief. It took me that long just to get started. So this is a nice little camper. I guess this is cedar. Yeah, cedar wood. You've done a fantastic job. And here's what the galley looks like. Nice functional galley. Now this is an actual mini fridge here, isn't it? So I just put a cooler in mine, and I've thought many times I wish I would have wired it up for a fridge. I think that would have been good. Now here's something that's nice, this awning. What kind of awning is that?
I don't remember the name brand of it. I didn't pick it up on Amazon.
That's pretty sweet. Is that set up pretty quick?
Oh yeah, I set it up 5 minutes by myself.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That's a good looking Teardrop. Now what size is it?
It's a 5x10.
5x10. Well, I'm gonna just peek the camera inside the camper. You want to show me what's going on in there? This is Lisa.
This goes all the way through. Goes all the way through the other side to the galley.
So that's what they call pass through?
Mm-hmm. All the way to the galley.
Sweet. Got your air conditioner.
And we got 2 storage up here, and we got bottom storage down there.
You got a lot of storage in here.
Yeah, there's a good bit of storage.
You got a lot more storage than I've
there's
got
a lot.
mine.
Then we've got the shelf back here, and then plugs.
Now, what are you using for a mattress?
The memory foam.
Memory foam. Like that pretty good?
Pretty thick memory foam, yeah.
I haven't got a mattress for mine. I don't know what I'm going to do
yet.
yet.
It's very comfy. It's a, yeah.
So you've got, looks like USB chargers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep. And regular plug-ins.
Well, this is nice. I like those lights.
We have the lights that go outside, and then the inside lights too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is sweet. I appreciate you showing this to me. Oh, there's the hat. I gotta get the hat. The happy camper
That's
hat.
right.
Well, Lisa, I appreciate you showing me
You're
that.
welcome.
The cedar that I'm seeing on the inside of the ceiling is that the same cedar that's on the roof?
No, there's actually 2 layers of
So there's 2 layers. Is there anything in the middle of it?
Yeah, it's there's foam insulation.
Foam.
Yeah, I got 3/4 insulation. I think it's 1 inch, I believe.
Okay. Now cedar, I guess that keeps out bugs, doesn't it? So that's funny, because what you're going to see on this video that I'm doing is we've been invaded with ladybugs in our camper. Where we live up there.
They're bad. I mean, our truck's got them in our office at my.
Oh, you got them down here too?
Oh, they're terrible.
Oh, they've been horrible. I bought a little shop vac with me, and all day yesterday and all day today we've been sucking ladybugs out of it. So it's been horrible. So, well, hey, I appreciate you showing me the camper here. Thank you. And you guys done a good job building this.
Thank you.
So how cool was that? Carl and Lisa, good looking Teardrop if you're watching. Thanks for giving me a tour. Sure gives me some inspiration to get mine wrapped up and get it on the road. So let's get back to the workshop. All right, so we are back in the workshop. What a wonderful, wonderful trip to the Chester Frost Park just outside of Chattanooga. And how cool was that running into Carl and Lisa down there with the home-built Teardrop. Just mighty fine folks. It was a pleasure meeting them, getting to look at that Teardrop. But now we are back in the shop and it's time to kick back in working on our own Teardrop. I'm going to call this the last major part of the build. This is going to be the trailer lights and the brakes. It's probably not going to be a whole lot of physical work involved. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what to put where and how to wire it up. I did a lot of research on the topic, and there are requirements for trailers, light-wise anyway, that are under 80 inches wide, and then requirements for trailers that are over 80 inches. So after all the research, what I've kind of come up with is for the tail lights, I'm going to be using an LED tail light. This is a stop and turn and tail light, and it also has this a red extension coming out the side that acts as a side marker for the rear of the camper. So as I understand, you have to have a side marker. You also have to have an amber marker for the side of the camper towards the front. So I picked up a couple of these amber LEDs. I've already got one put on the camper. You also have to have a, I'm going to call it a bar light, or 3 individual lights in the middle of the camper towards the bottom. So what I did is I bought a bar that's got, it's just one big long red bar, but it has 3 red LED bulbs in it, and that'll be just like a marker light in the middle of the camper towards the bottom. And then I also put a combination, and I don't think I had to do this, but I also put a combination running light and third brake light on the galley. And I had to custom make a little mount for that to fit that curve to where the light would be vertical instead of being on like a 45-degree angle. That way it'll be seen well. Like I said, I don't think that light was a requirement. I just wanted extra visibility, so if I'm stopping, somebody will be able to see me good. Now, trailer lights, I don't know. They may, the requirements, I don't know if they may vary by state, and I could even have this wrong, but from the reading I've done, I think this is going to be okay. If you think that might be different, please leave me comments in the comment section below, and steer me on the right direction before I get too far into it. The other thing I'm going to be doing is putting some brakes on the Teardrop. I don't know exactly how much the camper's going to weigh. I think it's going to be between 1,500 pounds, somewhere in there. I could be surprised, but I want to make sure I can get stopped quickly if there's an emergency. So I'm going to put on some brakes. Now, I ended up going with a Dexter brand brake just because that's a brand that I've heard of over the years, and I've read a lot of positive reviews about it. So I went to eTrailer website, and I'm not affiliated with eTrailer, and I bought all these products myself. Just give a disclaimer on that. But I went to eTrailer, and I got some Dexter hub/drums, and that's what these are. So I'll be popping off the Easy Lube hubs that are on the axle that I have, and I'll be replacing with these hubs. And then again, like I say, these have a built-in drum on the back. And then I ended up going with some, they're called Never Adjust Dexter brakes. Evidently they make a manually adjustable and a self-adjusting brake, and I sure don't want to have to fool with adjusting brakes all the time, so I just went ahead and paid a little extra and I got the self-adjusting brakes. Now I don't exactly know what brand my axle is. The fellow that I had build the frame and put the axle under it, he told me it was a 3,500 pound Easy Lube axle. And he didn't give me a brand name, but according to the website, the Dexter hardware will fit most 3,500 pound Easy Lube axles. So I've got my fingers crossed that I'm gonna, fit in that category. It does have brake flanges on it. I did check that, so I know that my brake assemblies will bolt on there. Again, I'm gonna have to, replace, bearings and caps and a bunch of stuff. So it's gonna be a big project. And to activate the brakes, I ended up going with it's called a Fastway Zip breakaway switch. Though, so if if something happens that the trailer comes disconnected from the tow vehicle, it'll pull this little plug. Gosh, that's a pretty hard pull. Yeah, it'll pull that plug, and it'll activate the brakes and get the camper stopped. Now, for regular brake control, I'm going to have a brake controller in the tow vehicle, and I picked up this nifty, I don't know, I'm going to call it a junction box. It uses a 7-pin spade trailer connector that's going to run all my lights, and it's going to, I guess, charge the battery on the camper while I'm going down the road, charge it off the tow vehicle. And it'll also engage the brakes variably as I give brake to the tow vehicle. And the cool thing is, this is already pre-wired. It's color coded, and of course you probably can't see it on the camera, but if you look real close, it'll even tell you like red is for stop and turn, green is for other things. So, but they're labeled on here as to what they're for. So hopefully that'll make it a little easier for me trying to wire it up. This, I think, will probably bolt on the tongue of the camper, and then I'll run all of the other brake and light wiring out of that. So yeah, we're getting super close to having the Camp Easy ready, and gosh, camping out under the stars. Look so forward to getting this thing out of the workshop. It's been a long time coming. Hopefully in the next episode of Camp and Camera, we'll actually cover the installation of the brakes and the lights. It'd be nice if we could cover the entire installation, but we'll see how long it takes to put together. May have to break it down into a two-part episode, or a two-part series. But anyway, that's the last major step. I have just a few loose ends to tie up, probably a week's worth of loose ends. Beyond this, got to put a tongue box on, drop a battery in it. Just a little bit of finish work on the cabin, but yeah, we're getting near the end of this thing. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and hit that button so you can keep up with more build videos, and then when we get it out in the wild, start using it. And if you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And hey, until next time, take care, and we'll see you on the road.